Okay, guys. Well, I don't know why it's doing that, but hey, guys, got my mic. This is Josh in the corner over here. Say hi, Josh. I don't know why he's been weird. Okay, so I've seen a lot of people doing these ultimate guides to all the 4 classes in Terraria, which I'm playing right now, but I've never seen anybody do a complete guide, which I'm here to do today. So let's get. Yes, it is Josh. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I've got all the stuff I need. So first off is melee. That's my first and usually my only class that I play. So first we'll go over the armor. This is Endgame 1.3. So of course Solar Flare. It's amazing. 24 defense, 17% increased melee critical strike chance, and enemies are more likely to target you. The set bonus on all 3 pieces. You get the shield here that generates over time, and it's kind of like the beetle armor, but you get 3 different spikes. And so you can use it to dash at enemies and blow them up like that. It's right there. And eventually the 3rd spike will regenerate. And so once the last spike is gone, then the shield will go away for a few seconds. It'll come back. And it's really great because it absorbs some of the damage you take. So on the chest plate, we have 22% increased melee damage, 34 defense, and of course enemies are more likely to target you. And on the boots, 20 defense, 15% increased movement speed and melee speed, which is always great, and enemies are more likely to target you. So right now I just have my general, just going around fighting stuff. You don't have to have wings if you have the car key, the cosmic car key, which is right here, which is got from the Martian invasion. Yeah, the Duke Fisherman mount also works, but
also when you go into water and then back out, you go extremely fast.
yeah. So of course. And then I go with the Destroyer emblem, 10% increased damage and critical strike chance. It's just amazing all around. The Warrior emblem, the Avenger emblem, 12% increased damage and 15% increased damage on the melee. Celestial Shell is great all around, just increases your stats, increases your defense, your attack, and it turns you into a werewolf at night. Plus you can turn into a morph, or merfolk, however you pronounce that, whenever you enter water. Basically a mermaid. Whenever you get in water, so you don't have to worry about losing breath, which is amazing. And then these are definitely optional. You can switch these out for whatever you want. The Frostspark boots. This is if you're in expert mode. I just have them because they're great for speed and getting around in case you're in a cave or something. But they can definitely be traded out. Okay, so I'll be right back for the weapons. Okay, so for the weapons, I have the legendary Meow Mirror. It takes quite a bit of gold or platinum to get it to this, unless you're lucky, you know. But it really does help the extra damage and everything. It's an amazing weapon. Whenever you it auto swings, by the way, and it fires a projectile Nyan Cat, which is also amazing. On the 5th bounce, it explodes. So great for clearing out waves of enemies. So next, the Solar Eruption. It fires through walls, and here's.
Don't aim it towards yourself.
And be careful with mimics, because you can blow yourself up with that.
Yeah.
So the Solar Eruption, Godly is the best prefix. It really helps if you get it to it. And so it's a flail type weapon, even though some people call it a sword. And it can fire through walls. It's really great if you're starting a new world and you want to find a shrine biome and try and get the enchanted sword. It's really great for looking for those. So next up, this is an optional, but I like to have a Stardust Dragon because it goes through walls and it homes on enemies. It's great for the solar peeds on the solar pillar. Plus, if you get the bewitching crawl beads, excuse me. Plus, if you get the bewitching table, it's amazing. So next is the Daybreak. It auto fires, of course, and it's a spear type weapon. It curves, but it can stick into an enemy, dealing DPS over time. You can have up to 8 stuck in an enemy. Each one does 25 damage per second, equaling 200 damage per second if you have all 8 stuck in an enemy. And I should get a dummy for this, which I will do in a little bit. So the next step, these are an optional, but because of the great nerf that they have seen, but they're still pretty good. You can't sit there and tank like you used to be able to, but they're still great, of course. Oh, and the best prefix is Godly on the Daybreak, and Godly on the Vampire Knives. So, still great. Do a little bit of damage, but you get quite a bit of health back. So the next is the Star Wrath. Best prefix is Legendary, and it's pretty overpowered. It's like the Lunar Flare, but not quite as good. So it auto swings and it fires 3 projectile stars on swing. You can just have an army of stars flying down at your enemies. And if I missed it, the prefix that I use on all my accessories is warding, because you can get just a lot of defense that way. So next up, I will show you the secondary, I like to call it, part of melee that I sometimes use. This is for like I'm farming the Moon Lord, and I don't need as much damage because I'm using the SDMG, which is a great weapon with core fight bullets for fighting the Moon Lord.
Out of the game, and you could cheat it in on some like cheat engines and stuff. They added it back into the game on the what version?
1.3. So
Which is awesome.
the Meow Mirror is dropped by the Moon Lord. The Solar Eruption is crafted using solar fragments, as well as the Daybreak. You can get enough solar fragments by killing the solar pillar, which is the hardest, but after you break the pillar, it gives you usually about 40 to 50 fragments, and so you can craft yourself these 2 weapons. They don't take very much. And the Star Wrath is also dropped by the Moon Lord. Crafted gear, this will take you about 50 fragments. It doesn't take much, like 1 or 2 of lunar events. Wings are, plus it takes Gloomite, which is dropped by the Moon Lord. You should only have to go in once or twice. Same with the lunar events, just to get this gear. This crafted with Golem Eye. Plus this is dropped by the Wall Flesh. You take 1 of these and 5 of the souls from the hard mode mechanical bosses. This is crafted using a Moon Shell, which is dropped by the it's called the Solar Eclipse, sorry. Plus the what's that called? The moon, yeah. Plus the shell dropped from the the Moonstone. It's you know, you craft it. That's the easy way to explain it.
If you need to, look it up on the wiki.
Yeah. Okay, so now for the defensive strategy, I like to use the Paladin Shield, also warding, and you can switch that out for the Frostmark Boots. I like to use the Flesh Knuckles, because warding, that's an 11 defense, that's crazy. So I like to switch that out for the Adventure Emblem. And then the Worm Scarf, which is stats, it's dropped from the Expert Mode Eater of Worlds. And so it gives, if you have warding on it, 4 defense, plus a negative 17% damage taken, or just 17% damage taken reduced, which is really good. It may not seem like it's good, but once you have all this defense, it really adds up. So I'll have to replace that with the wings. And then the Frozen Turtle Shell, it's a little bit hard to get, but you just have to farm the Frozen Turtles and the Frost Biome, or the Ice Biome. And then, once you're below 50% health, which usually when you're fighting the Moon Lord you are, you get a shell around you that increases your damage, or your defense by a lot. So I like to trade that out for this. And so my normal defense with this gear on is 122, plus the potions you will use for melee are the Rage Potion, increases your critical chance. Heart Rage Potion isn't necessary. Regeneration Potion is nice, because you have all this regeneration. Oh, I also sometimes trade out this for a Warding Stone of Myths, which I'll show you. It just makes it so you can use the potion 15 seconds before you normally could, and it increases your regeneration. So Iron Skin Potion, that'll bring you up to 130 defense, plus Wrath Potion. Summoning Potion isn't necessary, but it helps. Life Force Potion is a must. Increases your health by 100 when you're at 500. And so, yeah, just as it stops raining, this has been the Melee Guide, and I'll be back for the Ranger Guide in a few minutes. Alright, see ya. Okay, so back on the Ranger class. So, let's start with the armor. It's the Vortex Armor. The helmet gives 14 defense, 16% increased range damage, 7% increased range critical strike chance, and the set bonus, you can double tap down to go into stealth mode, which increases your critical strike and your damage by a lot, like almost 100 from the SDMG. Sniper rifle, insane. But so the Vortex chestplate gives 28 defense, 12% increased range damage and critical strike chance, 25% chance to not consume ammo, And then the boots give 20 defense, 8% range damage, and critical strike chance, 10% increased movement speed, and of course the set bonus. So I like wings just because, and the lightning. I don't have frost spark boots, but those are completely optional. So if you're, of course, fighting the Moon Lord, you'll have your space car key, or you'll have your what's it called, Duke Fishron mount. So you won't need to worry about that. So yeah, the cosmic car key. Okay, shut up, Josh. I know. Okay, so on all of my accessories, I like Lucky as a ranger because some people may say menacing 24% extra damage, but 24% critical strike chance is just too good not to get rid of. Like the sniper rifle, without being in stealth, 107% crit chance. Unreal SDMG, 92%. Okay, so the first one, Lucky Avenger Emblem, like I already said the stats. Destroyer Emblem, Lucky. So the Celestial Stone, you can trade that out for anything else, but it increases your stats pretty nicely. The Ranger Emblem, here Josh, if you want to touch, you should get a little bit closer. Celestial Shell, of course, same stats, and the Sniper Scope. It allows you to, you know, scope out, just like you would on the Sniper Rifle, increases the range too on that, but you can do it on the SDMG, Xenopopper, any gun, which is nice. Plus, it increases your range and critical strike chance of damage and critical strike chance, which is really good. And so, total of 70 defense, which is really good, actually. And so, those are the overall armor. That's the overall armor set and accessories. Now we'll get into the weapons. So, of course, the SDMG, it's the better version of the Mega Shark. And so it does, with all this armor on, without stealth, I have 180 range damage on it, 92% critical strike chance. It's insanely fast. And so it's really good. If you have the ammo box plus this armor, because the chest plate has a 25% chance not to consume ammo. If you have the chest plate and this little box here, I believe this is sold by the Traveling Merchant, the buff gives you a 20% chance to not consume ammo. So you're hardly ever using ammo, which is great, because this thing will burn through ammo if you don't have the buffs and the armor, even though it has the 50% base chance. So get it to Unreal if you can. I know it may take a lot of platinum, but there's ways to get it. You can download maps, all kinds of stuff. So Star Wrath, if you're just in a cave or something, it's not necessary, but I like it, in case you want to save ammo or something. Xenopopper, you guys may be like, what? I've never seen anybody use that. It's really good because of the 4 shots, plus you can auto-fire it. And so with core fight bullets, it'll auto aim, excuse me. Core fight bullets are, people may say Luminite bullets, but I go core fight bullets just because of the auto aim, especially when fighting the Moon Lord. So, again with the Stardust Dragon Staff, it's not necessary, but I like it because it's just that much extra damage. It goes around, it does piercing damage. So the Sniper Rifle is insanely good. Well, it's good for clearing out single targets. I wouldn't use it on the Moon Lord, but if you wanted to have some fun and see how much you can get, it's really fun to mess around with.
Yeah.
And then the Phantasm. It's an amazing weapon, just all around. I usually use Luminite arrows, because Jester's arrows, if you can use them, or Holy arrows, they're great. But I use Luminite arrows just because the fact that we have hundreds of Luminite bars. They're easy to get.
So
You can get 333 for 1 bar, which is really good.
Jester's arrows are awesome because they don't angle down, so they're extremely accurate, and they still do a lot of damage. So
Yeah, so here's each gun in action. The SDMG. It can be really annoying when you're fighting the Moon Lord, just hearing that sound over and over. The Xenopopper is a pretty interesting sound. The Sniper Rifle I like. Just a single shot.
yeah.
It's really good. And then the Phantasm is really good. You can auto-fire.
That's the reason you use Jester's arrows, because they all.
And you see my ammo, it has a base chance of 6% chance to not consume ammo. So you hardly ever use arrows, like you saw there. It shoots, I believe it's 3 or 5 arrows at once. I think it's, yeah. I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
But it's really good. And so you can see you're getting all these arrows, and just look at my ammo at the top. There you go. You see how many shots I got off for just 1 arrow usage? It's insane. So let's talk about the stealth mode. Once you go into stealth mode by double tapping down, my damage on the SDMG is increased by almost 100% or 100 damage. The critical strike chance has gone up 20%, which is amazing. My Xeno Popper is like if you have these accessories with the lucky prefix and the armor, you go in stealth mode, you'll have a 100% crit chance in pretty much most ranged weapons you use. I don't know if there are any. There might be a few, but out of all these, you'll always crit. Phantasm, and then the damage just goes up. The sniper rifle is insane. But so yeah, that's the all-around guide to the ranger. So I will be back for probably the summoner.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I'm back with the what's it called? I already messed it up. I'm back with the summoner guide. Okay.
Summoner.
So to start off, we have the Stardust helmet from, of course, all this is from the Stardust gear. It's from the Stardust fragments, which you can get from the Stardust pillar, which I would recommend starting. If you're going to start out doing the winter events, I'd start Stardust.
No, Vortex.
Vortex or Stardust doesn't really matter.
Vortex is the.
Yeah. Okay.
Vortex is easiest.
Yeah.
Go Vortex.
So the Stardust helmet increases your defense by 10, increases your max number of minions, increases your minion damage by 22%, and the set bonus, double tap down and you get this Guardian, and you can assign him to wherever you want him to be, which I'll show in a second. So the Stardust plate gives 16 defense, increases your max number of minions, and increases your minion damage by 22%. Same as the helmet. So the leggings increase your defense by 12, increases your max number of minions, and increases your minion damage by another 22%. So overall, with this armor, you have 66% increased minion damage, which is really good. So for the accessories, they're not all perfect, these two. I just need to get them warding, but I'll show you. So I would go warding all for this. If you're in expert mode, you need the extra 24 defense. It just helps. If you're not in, what's it called? If you're not in expert mode, you're in normal mode, you could go a mix of warding and menacing, or if you want to go all menacing, I'll leave it up to you guys. But for expert, I would go all warding, and for normal, I'd go mix. So I'd go the Necromantic Scroll, which increases your max number of minions, increases your minion damage by 10%, which is the Papyrus Scroll, the Papyrus and the Hercules Beetle. So I would go with the Destroyer emblem for the extra damage. I don't know if crit chance affects minions, but if it does, you guys can tell me. The Celestial Stone should be warding, but it's only lucky right now, so excuse me. Basic stats. If you want to trade that out for the Papyrus Beetle for the extra minion, you can do that. I mean the Hercules Beetle, excuse me. Avenger Emblem, extra 12% damage, warding of course. This should also be warding for the stats. And then the Summoner Emblem, which is a great ad, I must add. It's... Stop laughing, Josh.
I said add.
So, increases your damage for 15%. So now we'll get to the actual weapons. So the Meow Mirror, you can...
You can use it for pretty much anything.
So I like the Meow Mirror on the Summoner class, because you have all your summonables down here fighting the bosses, their sentry style
Everything.
things. You're fighting, but what do? You're just kind of running, dodging attacks. Well, you can be using the Meow Mirror. Yeah, you could use the SDMG as well with core fight bullets. Also works. I mean, I like the Meow Mirror just for sword purposes. Plus that, you see that 574 damage, not even a crit. So, legendary if you can, but if you can't, doesn't matter. Just any kind of weapon, you need to be attacking as well with your minions. What's that, Jeff?
Also, the Meow Mirror. You just can't give up that it's Nyan Cat.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's fabulous, you know. They explode, you can kill yourself, you can hit stuff through walls if the little cats explode. So on to the next thing. I will skip over this for now. You guys may be wondering, this should be mythical, sorry. In fact, let me change that real quick.
Find the staff.
I'll be talking while we're doing that. So,
Did you even find the staff?
of course, yes, I found it, Josh.
Okay.
So, this should be, what's it called? Mythical, as well as all your stuff. But, shut up, Josh. So, the next weapon I like to use is the Rainbow Crystal Staff. It's another Sentry style. Basically. I'm just trying to get that mythical. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. So, along with all your minions fighting alongside with you, you can have this amazing little guy up here. It's from the chest. It's in another of the earlier hard mode weapons, but it's pre-Moon Lord, but it's still really good because you can have it along. I mean, it's not necessary, but it can be amazing. You get your Rainbow Crystal Staff and your Lunar Portal, so you got 3 Sentry Styles. And then if we summoning potions are great. They increase your number of minions by 1, so you can drink that. Plus the bewitching table. Get bewitched. So if you're fighting a boss, I would recommend something that has a lot of moving parts. I would recommend like Skeleton Prime, the Moon Lord. I would recommend using the Stardust Dragon. If you're fighting something like Plantera in its first form, or her first form, or the twins, or you know, just clearing out events. Clearing out events would be great for the Stardust Dragon staff. But if you're fighting bosses that have
something that does not have any moving parts,
kind of like the twins, something you could focus. Yeah, a great example is the Cthulhu, but something you can hit easily. So I like to use the Xeno staff, which I know other people like it, but it's really good because it does 95 summoning damage.
Big brother is me, right?
Yeah. So with all the gear and the buffs, the summoning potion, the bewitched, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Too many to count. Let's just say that. It's either 9 or 10 each. You know.
A certain amount.
More UFOs than you'll ever need. So the UFOs, these guys are great. Let's go find a swine. Oh, how about this? We can just do this. These little guys, see, look at that. They just wreck. Look at that, you see that? All that damage. It's great. But so sorry about these two. They're kind of in the way, and this guy. This guy fires a little laser, and it's great. So get rid of the UFOs. The Dragon Staff is great for piercing damage if you're going through waves of enemies. Both of these can go through walls, so it's great for caving. So let's just watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is it 9 or 10? I don't know. I know the max you can have is 11, so I think it's either 9 or 10 that I have. Either way, this is gonna wipe out everything. It's amazing. So you'll have all your little sentry style guys, and then you'll be up here with your dragon and your legendary Meow dodging attacks, fighting the Moon Lord. It's a really good setup. If it's nighttime, most bosses you fight at nighttime, except for some of the newer ones. But if you wait till nighttime and you have warding on all these, you'll have about 74, 75 defense. It's pretty great. Oh, there's truffle. So I will be back for one of the more. Yeah, I do have truffle. So I'll be back in a second for one of the most fun classes to play in the game, which is our last one, and it's Mage. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, I'm not even gonna question you, Josh. So I'm back with the fourth and final class, which is, well, technically if you count, what's it called? Thrower, but that's not really an endgame class. It's kind of it is a class, Josh. But so this is Mage or Wizard, whatever you want to call it. So first of all, the armor. It's the Nebula armor crafted with Nebula fragments from the Moon Lord, or his bars, Luminite. So the Nebula helmet, 14 defense, increased maximum mana by 60 and reduces mana usage by 15%, 7% increased magic damage and critical strike chance. But the set bonus of this armor is once you hurt an enemy, it has a chance to drop a little wispy thing, and you collect those.
You have to kill him.
No, you just have to damage them. Yeah.
No, you have to kill him.
No, that's if you fight the Moon Lord. That's why there's all those little things in the sky. If you damage an enemy just by hitting them, usually you get a little wisp thing. If you use a Heart Reach potion, it allows you to pick them up, or some potion allows you to pick them up easier at a larger range. But they increase your stats for 7 seconds. Nebula Breastplate gives 18 defense, 9% increased magic damage and critical strike chance. Set bonus, of course. 14 defense on the leggings, 10% increased magic damage, 10% increased movement speed. So here are my items. I like to use lucky again for these as prefix. You can use menacing or warding depending on how you like it, but I like lucky for the increased crit chance. So Sorcerer Emblem, must have. Destroyer Emblem, must have. Same with the Avenger Emblem. Already gone over the stats. Celestial Shell, must have. Celestial Stone, you can trade that out for whatever you like. If you like Band of Myths, whatever you like. You don't have to have it. I like to have that as my expert mode slot. It's not needed, but you know, it's just extra. Okay, stop, just stop. And so Mana Flower, if you're playing a mage, have to have this endgame.
Yes.
Like if you're using any kind of weapon, if you're using the last prism, definitely have to have.
Yeah. Have.
In fact, why is that not? Again, I thought I had mythical. Let me check real quick. I think I have a mythical one, but mythical is the best prefix on that,
Yes.
as most of the endgame mage items are.
Pretty much all of them.
This is it? Nope. Well, I'll reforge it while talking. Again. Sorry about this. I should have been prepared. I didn't realize that.
Luckily you have like.
So, mage.
You have like 24 platinum coins, but I have like 400 if you need some.
Yeah. Okay. So, Mana Flower. You have to have it. You just absolutely have to have it if you're playing endgame. It's called Mage. Just give it a second. I'll get it. It's gonna take a while. Okay, I'll do 3 more and I'll cut until I get it. Nope, I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so now that I remembered, Demonic is actually pretty much the best because with the mythical prefix, you get speed, which you do not want on the last prism, because that increases your magic use. As you see right now, it's a 9 magic use. I think it makes it a 10, but you're using magic faster, you're shooting it faster, and the minus 8% mana cost, that's not going to bring it down to 8. That's nothing when you're using the last prism. So,
yeah,
what?
And also, wait, when using the last prism, speed does not matter. It is a beam type weapon.
And you're not gonna
care about
you don't care about knockback on this weapon.
No.
You just want the damage and the crit chance. So now we get to the mythical lunar flare. Amazing weapon all around. You can fire through walls, hit wherever you want. Anywhere where your cursor is, it's like the Star Wrath, but better. Because it goes through walls, it's easier to control. It's not... Oh, whoops. You know what? Okay, so now for the last prism. This is...
Get ready for the
probably one of the...
fireworks show.
This is what makes Magic a fun class to play.
Yeah.
Look how fast I'm going through. Look at that. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. About 3 seconds until your next potion. Stick another one. Be careful of this. This is what makes the last prism hard to use. The potion sickness takes your damage. It lowers your damage by quite a bit because you're always using potions, so you're gonna have like minus 45% damage, which isn't very good. But you know, when you're using a death beam, all of those beams are doing 216 damage. So when you combine it together, you get an insane amount of DPS. So next, this is another really pretty fun weapon to use. It's the Nebula Arcanum. It bounces off walls.
It's kind of like the
It's like the Lunar Portal Staff, but it gets bigger over time a little bit, and all these things, and it eventually explodes, and all the little wisp things fly off. So you can fire a few of them. They're pretty fun to use. So now the rest prefix on that is mythical, and the rest prefix on this is demonic. I found that the wiki said that the best prefix for this is demonic, but I find that mythical is better. Demonic Nebula Blaze, again crafted with Nebula stuff. Oh, there's one of those wisps. But, Looks pretty cool in your hand. That's it. And so it fires all these little cool projectiles. They go very fast. 600 damage for the crit. That's why you have lucky to get all this crit chance. Now watch this. I'll summon a slime and a shark. Yeah, I think that's good.
Slime and a shark? What do you
Okay, it auto aims. 918, 608. You can get crits upward of
69.
very good. Look at that, 17, 18. See, I get more crits than
3 bunnies
I-
in a row.
I get more crits than I do normal hits. Let's try the Nebula Blaze. Look at that. See? That's crazy for clearing out wave type events. Goes after. Auto aims as well. Amazing. Fires projectiles. Then the Lunar Flare. This thing is insane. See this little block here? I can fire right through it. Yeah, that's crazy.
I can never
Oh, you can change your cursor, Josh.
Oh, you
Then the last prism. Get ready. You're just killing them to death. 1578. Look at that. That damage. This is why you go with Lucky when you're going. Because I just find that you have so much fun with Lucky. You look at all these crits. It's 24% crit chance. That means you go from 39 to 63. That's a lot. Okay. Well, thank you. Oh, yeah, I should probably do that now. Okay, Joshua wants to show you his house.
Yeah.
So, I'll let Josh talk.
So the giant thing down there. Okay, this is my house. And apparently I forgot to get rid of one of those flame things. So Nathan turned like 10 of my chests into crimson mimics because he did butthole.
Okay, I wanted to fight it back now, okay?
Okay, fine. Okay.
But so, thanks for watching, guys.
Wait.
Alright. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.